Good
everyone.
morning, afternoon, evening. Good morning, evening, afternoon, or wherever you are from around the world. I'm Nikki. I'm your host, and with me is I have lovely Nick Muley from Chicago. I have Jaden from Paracol representing Australia. Above us, we have Nicole representing USA, and we have Chris, and also we have and we have
Not,
Robert representing Australia. So all the Aussies,
Nick at night up on top.
Nick.
I just had to switch it around, so sorry about that.
It's all good.
Jaden, good to
So,
see you again.
Yeah, you too, brother. You too. How you been?
Hello.
I just
so
I just
Kate.
hey, Kate.
Kate's in the
AK, good to see
Kate
you.
is no longer the most interesting man in the world. He made us wait.
All good. So, for people that don't know, have never watched us this before, it's pretty much a free for all. We talk about paranormal experiences that we've had and stuff like that. For people that have never met Jaden, Jaden is the founder and co-founder of Paracol over here in Australia. He goes live, does things like that during paranormal investigations. Also, he works at a tour company down in Adelaide, I think. So yeah, and we have lost Chris.
I'll be
Yeah,
back.
Okay, so yeah. So that's Jaden. I'm Nikki. I am the founder of Paranormal Perth, West Australia, and we pretty much do exactly the thing that Jaden does. We just do it a little bit different. So, if you've never watched Nick, Nick is from Things Network. He also runs Fear Fans and also does some other shows,
including
joined
Nick,
by Robert.
particularly Nick
And
Files and Supernatural Talk, obviously.
so, yeah, welcome to Paranormal Perth PWA Chat. So yeah, Chris, whoops, he's gone. Robert, do you have anything coming up?
Just the planning on moving down south. Have to have
Awesome.
the house sold yet, so organising for that to happen. Still buying the land too, because they take their time to
Yeah.
process that.
Mhm.
But right now, the area is under a cyclone watch. Apparently,
Oh wow.
luckily there's no house there. Otherwise, it could have
Oh, excuse me.
yeah, just on the
Nick, do you
southern
have
side.
any? Oh, awesome.
Oh, there's
Do,
Chris. Now I got him back.
hmm Chris, do you have anything coming up? Investigation
Yeah.
wise?
I just had to disappear for a minute.
That's okay. All
I
good.
saw that.
Hey, Joanne.
Hey, Joanne.
God, Kate's continuing on with these comments that she was doing in the last show.
Oh Lord.
she's not going to stop with this, isn't she?
Oh.
Get Nick a little princess dress if we're gonna get Jeremy a crown.
Don't remind me.
Yeah, buddy. We'll be coming to the US shortly. Chris, do you have anything coming up, like investigation wise?
Not as of right now, as far as investigations go. But near the end of September, pretty much a month from now, I do have another Paracon that I'm going to be attending. Which is SilCon, and which that's short. I don't remember what the L stands for, but it's basically a Paracon that's going to be happening down in the central part of the state. And what is quite fascinating about this Paracon is, although the typical focus is obviously on the paranormal, they also do extend to a few other type of subject matters. Like kind of like a part, part Comic Con, part anime. Just kind of like a combination of a couple of things. I mean, the speakers are all paranormal investigators, but they all. The best way I could describe this event is that it's kind of like a combination of both a end of summer but welcoming Halloween party, because there's also people who dress up, people who dress up for the after party, and it's just a lot of fun. And then after that Paracon, I got one more coming up in October, which is the Rock Island Paracon, and that's supposed to be a pretty big one. which it's funny enough, it's just right on the border of Illinois and Iowa, and it's only about 3.5 hours away, so it's not even that far from me. So it's a good distance, and I think it's the first weekend of October they're having it. I've heard about it, and they have done it before, but this will be my first time attending the Rock Island Paracon. So really looking forward to both of them.
Oh, awesome. Nicole, do you have anything? Nicole, do you have anything coming up, love?
No, I wish I did though. I haven't been able to investigate for God over a year now, and I'm just itching to get back out there. I had back surgery beginning of March, so I was down for the count for a while, but
Gotta bug your friend.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's some
Kate
really
Wright
cool
will strike you lying like that.
Hmm?
Oh, I said Kate. Lightning's gonna strike her for lying like that.
Right?
Jaden, do you have anything coming up, mate?
I do. I sure do. I've got a few investigations planned, mainly for the YouTube channel, which is going to be really exciting because a lot of the places that we're going to have never been investigated or filmed at before. So that's really, really exciting. We're starting to like map a lot more of Victoria now, as well as doing some urbex, like abandoned exploration stuff as well. So we're doing that. There's a lot of things in the works at the moment as well in regards to some really, really cool things. So I stopped running tours recently because I'm so busy with my schedule at the moment, I can't
Yeah.
keep up. So I've just stopped that a little bit. But there is a massive potential coming up sometime next year. So there's some contracts that have to be signed and whatnot, but it is looking extremely promising. And it's definitely a step in the right direction for us. And that's very, very exciting to do. So yeah, there's a lot coming up. It's weird because I've got no time at the moment to do a
Yeah.
lot. Like I work full time as well as investigate and
Mhm.
as well as like I'm a vocalist in a death metal band, so it's really there's a lot going on. So
Yeah.
there's never a day that's free, but it's very exciting at the same time. If I have one day, I don't know if y'all are like this, but if you have one day where you don't do anything, you are
Yeah.
probably the most depressed that you could ever be. You're just like sitting there, you're like, I'm so bored, and then you start wallowing in self pity. So like
Yes.
I've made sure that up until January next year, I've got like no spare time.
Awesome.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have to, man. You gotta put your nose to the grinder and just have fun. It's life, man. There's
Mm-hmm.
no point in being stuck in the house. Just do shit.
Kate wants to
So,
know something. Nick.
Yep, no worries. Kate wants to know what part of Australia we're from. Well, I'm from Western Australia.
I'm from Victoria.
Kate asked a question. That's okay.
Queensland. But I'm going to be moving to Victoria, so
Which part of Victoria? Am I allowed to know? Are you
the
the southeast or?
30 minutes from the South Australian border.
Oh,
Oh,
so you're
nice.
basically just moving to South Australia
Yes.
then.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, that'll
So
be nice, man.
about 5 hours from Melbourne, apparently, according to
You're,
Google Maps.
you are going to hate the weather here, man. You're gonna hate it.
Well, compared to the weather here, I'm sure we're going to like it a lot more.
Oh, it's Melbourne. Just Victoria sucks in general in terms of its weather. It doesn't know whether it wants to rain, hail, or shine, and it's like
Sounds like
in a day
Colorado.
you'll experience 4 seasons, and it's horrible.
Well, that's better than the one season we get up here.
Yeah, true.
All weather is better than Illinois weather. So.
Mm-hmm.
Currently here, it is, come on, change, 29 degrees, feels like 32, and down there it's like 9.
Oh, wow.
Have to convert that over to cool.
it's actually weird. It's
It's
kind of
always cold here. It's always cold, but you know what?
Yeah.
For people that like the cold, it's perfect. For people that hate it, Like they end up moving up your way all the time.
We're sick of the heat, so we're moving down that way.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Yeah.
similar like over here because the weather's been really kind of acting funny during this time of August. I mean, normally most of the time it's usually like really hot over here, but now it's gotten to that point where it's like the seasons it's like the temperatures can't make up their minds now. It's like it's been like in the 70s and 80s over here, and then like once it drops, like right now, because it's already 10:40 over here, it drops down to like 50 degrees. It's just like that transitional point.
Love it.
I give it about like place your bets now. I give it within 1 month, and then Rob will end up purchasing his first puffer jacket.
Well, we had to go to Portland and get some clothes down there. I bought where is it? It's a jacket of some kind.
It's a puffer jacket, isn't it?
No, it's not a puffer. No, it's
Actually wore a parka jacket investigating. Having one time in the winter.
At least it keeps warm.
no, you can't see it. It's there somewhere, but you can't find it.
Kate's got a question here too. Said she'd rather prefer to live south, but one animals can kill you there.
Probably like
A stingray.
no crackheads mainly.
The crackhead, okay.
Spiders there, man. Ooh.
The duvet coat.
And Joanne says, I hate the cold and I live in Canada. Winter jackets already when it rains. It's so cold.
Yeah.
I like
I'd love to go to Canada. Canada would be cool.
I've been close to the U.S.-Canadian border, but I've never actually been inside Canada yet, even though I was really... And funny enough, it was from another Paracon that I was at last year, the Michigan Paranormal Conference, and we literally were just like 10 minutes away from the border, but we couldn't... We didn't get the chance of entering Canada, just to say that I was in Canada.
Yeah, when I was younger, a teenager, we went up to the Niagara Falls, but we went on the Canada side. So I can say I've been to Canada, but that's about it.
Well,
I didn't even know there was a Canada side to Niagara Falls. That's interesting as.
I've been to Niagara Falls, too, when I was younger, too, so I've only been on the American side of it. But it's actually funny. I could that same event that I just brought up, an investigator from Texas, she was a guest at this paranormal conference, and during their spare time, they had the idea of heading over to Canada, saying, "Hey, let's go into Canada, drive around just to say that we're there." And so they drove into Canada, and at this point, it probably had to have been like midnight, I think, that she and her friend were driving around. Of course, obviously, it was no different than like over here. You know, a lot of the locations were closed. So they just thought to themselves, all right, well, we've been to Canada. Let's turn around and get back across the border. Unfortunately, that wasn't that easy getting back in because for two reasons. I mean, it's one of those cases like it's easy to leave, but it's not that easy of getting back in. And so, but not only that, because it was like 1 o'clock in the morning by the time they got back, most of the gates and stuff that allows you into the border were closed. So they were like stuck in Canada. And eventually one door did open up. They provided their, IDs and whatever. They were able to get back into America. But man, they would have been stuck for the night in Canada.
They're trying to smuggle that Canadian bacon across the border.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah.
Kate says she loves your background, Robert.
This background is actually part of this system. I tried putting a bird up before, but it wouldn't go up, and the moon. So
She'd like it better if it had Nick Cage in it, Rob.
I like the comment above it. That's true. Yeah. Hey, seriously though, Jaden, you need to do auto books with a voice like that.
That's what I was about to get to.
yeah.
I get that all the time.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. I was gonna bring this up sooner, but if you didn't know, Jane, I actually do audiobooks that I've been getting different paranormal podcast hosts of doing a story basically. So in case if you're ever interested, I could probably get you to record. I could probably have you record a story or something if you'd like.
Dude, that'd be so cool. I would love that. That'd be amazing.
It's going to be a while because right now, so a lot of the stories that because for the longest time, at first I was just recording them, but now I'm starting to expand it to other podcast hosts and
Yeah.
guests alike. And unfortunately, some of my audiobooks I had done previously, the first ones, sadly, I discovered there were a lot of hidden errors and mistakes that I didn't really know because that was back when I was just starting to learn how to do audiobooks. So I
Yeah.
didn't have the knowledge as I do now. Because like when you're making them, it's especially when you're making a whole bunch of them, you just think to yourself, you're like, oh man, I've been working on this for too long. I just want to get this done. But my mistake I made was I did not carefully test listen to them before releasing them. So now I got to go back and make repairs and fix them up. And as soon as I'm done with those, I can start getting back on these newer projects and allow others to record the story. So I'll definitely keep you updated on it.
That'd be awesome. Just imagine one of the mistakes is just like, and then it was a demon. Apostrophe bracket.
Exactly.
Double space.
/ OMG. Bluey episode. That'd be a weird Bluey episode, man. Probably be the first like
Or
adult rating one.
I don't need to see a full moon from anybody.
Bluey goes on a paranormal investigation.
We'll admit that is a cool full moon picture you got there, Robert.
Yeah, that's one of mine. I took that one.
Oh, you did?
That's your
Really?
moon,
Wow.
Robert?
Yeah,
Oh, dude, that's sick.
yeah.
That's a
That
great
looks like
picture,
something
honestly.
that could be used for like almost looks like something you could use for like a poster or something like that.
Mm.
Look,
Yeah, these little nodules here are why I like taking the photos of the moon. Yeah, at this stage because the shadows still push up and through. It's not a full moon; it's nearly a full moon. But I like taking the photos of them like that so you can see all the craters.
Yeah,
How did you get a photo like that? What did you
that's
like?
what she said.
Is there like a specific type of camera that you use, or a telescope
Um,
camera?
It's a Nikon. Oh, is it Nikon or Canon? Nikon, I believe. It was a 1500D, and I got a 440 by 800, and I got a multiplier on that, a double multiplier, so it goes 880 to 1600
Yeah,
lens. So I took it with that. Makes
That's
basically
so cool,
a telescope.
That's awesome.
it's beautiful.
yeah, I really like that a lot. That's really impressive, Robert.
The one
Or Kate.
Wait,
Eight.
let's see. Oh, it's true
Is
that
it true South Australians are more trendy? Care about their hair and clothes.
Maybe.
Why don't you come down and find out, Kate?
Yeah. Kate, if you ever go down, maybe I should fly with you guys so that way I can experience it for myself too.
Yeah.
That comments just made me feel like, oh, it's true. We do.
Mhm.
It's true.
Robert's left.
He's gonna get
Yeah,
that
I
leather
think
jacket.
that, but I was gonna say I think he just turned off his camera off just so he could put the jacket back.
Left. Mhm.
I was gonna
Yeah.
ask Nikki, do you guys
Yes.
you asked all of us, do you have anything coming up as far as investigations?
Well, in 24 hours, I will be driving to a country town called Tujay, and we're investigating 3 locations in a 24-hour period.
Oh, nice.
Whew. So, yeah, we're doing a jail, we're doing a town hall, and a hotel, and a gravesite, maybe.
Hell
That's
yeah.
really cool. It's just like what you said, Jaden. I mean, it keeps you guys busy, obviously. So that's really good for you guys.
Yeah, man. 2J is
Yeah.
awesome. Like with what Jason and Kat have been doing, like me and Jason have been trying to talk every now and then when he's got some time,
Yeah.
when he's got off work, and we're trying to organize me going up there to collaborate with all of you guys. So
Mm-hmm.
it's I don't know when that's happening, but it's a definitely a thought because people like in our comment section, because me and
Yeah.
Jason we run different groups, right? But it's so
Yeah.
weird because every time we post anything, you can see me and Jason flirting with each other in the comments from directly from our pages. So like you'll post like, "Oh, we're releasing this video soon." I'm like, "Oh, I can't wait until you grace my screen, you sexy beast." You know, and and then he'll come back with another thing. It's just like, "Oh, I can't wait for you to watch it, you handsome man. Kiss, kiss, love heart, XO." You know, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
people have been seeing us go back and forth, and they're like, "You guys need to collaborate on some videos." And we're like, "We've been discussing it. We just don't know when it's going to happen."
Yeah.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
it's just a
Okay,
waiting
which is
period.
good.
It's a waiting period before it eventually happens. But eventually it does happen. So
Mm.
that's what's going to be. That's what makes some of these investigations really exciting because I've done some collaborations myself with some of the other investigators and stuff. And even though I'm part of a team myself, it's always great to collaborate with other teams.
Absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
Same.
It makes it
Yeah.
difficult because we are completely self-funded,
Yeah.
so
Exactly.
it gets really really hard to try and save up that money to go out and do something, and then because it's Victoria specifically
Yeah.
is going through a massive recession right now, it's really hard to like put away money to do those things. So
Yeah.
if but you treat it like a luxury, and it will eventually happen. You know, you treat yourself to a
Mm-hmm.
nice little holiday.
Yeah, yeah. And the good thing is, like, even though, like, say, Jade and I are from separate teams as well, we all get along. And
Mhm.
that's one thing I love about, like, what we do as paranormal investigators, where even though we're from separate teams, we still get along, we still collaborate with each other, we still talk, because I speak to Jason and Kat pretty much every single week.
Mm.
I've done some collaborations with them, but we work so well together, even though we're from different teams, and there's no hierarchy. It's not like you're better than me because you've got X, Y followers. You're lower than me because you don't have as much. We all just get along,
Yeah,
which is great.
yeah. There tends to be it's quite a controversial subject, but there seems to be a lot of that within the paranormal field at the moment, where it's become a little bit like a pissing contest for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand why. Like we're all out there trying to achieve the same thing. We may not do it the same way, but that's why you collaborate with people because you can find out new ways that work, things that work differently. And so many people out there just don't take it as uh, I don't know. It's just strange to me. It's just
Yeah,
strange.
totally agree with you.
Well, and
Yeah.
most recently, I just discovered this earlier this year, and this is what I might have talked about it before, but it actually no, I've
No,
talked about it on some of the other shows, but it's really quite unique because I'm actually trying to help out with another paranormal group again from another country, and this is coming from one that you don't really hear too much, surprisingly, about, and that is a group at one of the very few paranormal groups, in fact, all the way from Norway in the
Yeah.
Scandinavian countries, and not only just Norway because it's right next to them. You also have Sweden, of course, as well. And the group that runs them, they're called the Norwegian Ghost Hunters, and they have their own YouTube channel. So once again, as I probably said before, I would highly recommend you guys go check out their channel because they are looking for more viewers. They're looking for more
Yeah.
subscribers, especially from other countries out there because they're trying to. They're not again. They're not necessarily like in some of these other investigators. They're not trying to get famous or anything. They're just wanting to send their show out for everybody to check out. And
Yeah.
just like what you said, Jaden, I mean, when you watch their show, it is pretty much like a lot is the same way, like how we do it, but there
Mm.
are some differences of how
Mm-hmm.
they do things. I mean, obviously, first thing is the language because it's all Norwegian or Swedish, which, by the way, in spite of that, they do have English captions, so you guys can just turn on the captions and watch it. But there's just I'm not sure what it is. They just do things a bit differently that I've never seen before especially in those countries. So it's always another good expansion to see, how they do things over in their respective countries.
I just subscribed to them. So
Oh, you did? Oh, that's great.
Great.
yeah,
I
I just
really
did
appreciate it.
because I love Norway. It's the place I actually want to retire to.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I just love everything about their culture and their people. I love
We're
Vikings
actually
and shit. So,
we're actually trying, because I do a show also from the UK and other parts of Europe early in the day over here, and obviously, Robert, you know what show exactly I'm talking about, the show we did earlier today. And we're actually going to try to get the leader of the group on as a guest. It's a guy named Gear, and he, in fact, is in fact the only one that we can get on as a guest. Not because the rest of the team doesn't want to come on; it's just due to the fact that Gear, he's the only one that speaks English. The rest of the team speaks little to none. It's all Norwegian or Swedish. So we're going to try to get him on at some point so he can explain more about his team, his show, and of course, obviously the locations that they've gone to. And it's just because there's, like you would immediately think, like out of when it comes to European history, especially when it comes to like World War I and II, you immediately would think, obviously, some of the other European countries, like France, Germany, Austria, you know, uh, so just to name a few of them, Spain, just to name a few of them. But you don't really hear too much when it comes to the Scandinavian countries of how they were affected. It seems like out of all the European countries, they seem to be some of the least known ones. So they go to these locations that had an effect from the war, and you think to yourself, like, geez, like, how come I haven't heard of these locations before?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
No, you're
No,
fine.
you're right. So
All right. Yeah.
My husband was making some weird noises upstairs, so I had to figure out what the hell was going on.
Not mine.
Yeah,
anything now.
I could just hear him in the background. I'm like, what in the world?
So Kate's got another question here. What's a typical Australian meal apart from a barbie?
Why would you eat Margot?
Well, I was told about one just yesterday at the shops that down there in the Victorian area, they call Parmas.
we
Chicken
also
Parma.
call well,
Oh,
do you
okay.
guys call them potato scallops or potato cakes?
Yep. We call them scallops.
Yeah, so you're wrong.
Yeah.
Thanks. Potato cakes. Sorry, Robert.
They're also palmies down here as well. If you say palmy in a Melbourne
Yeah.
pub,
They'll know that we're from Queensland. Yeah.
yeah, they'll be very upset with you.
That's
What
kind of
about pie floaters?
it's funny.
What's up, Bruce?
It's funny. It's not necessarily with
Meat pie
food, but
floaters.
we have a
Yeah.
town
Mike.
here. What's
This is my husband, y'all.
Oh, hi.
Hey,
Hi there.
husband.
What's up, dude?
Jaden.
How
Australia.
you doing?
Australia.
Oh, I can tell I should because that one says pretty. I've been there.
Yeah.
Queensland. And Jaden, you're in Melbourne, you said?
Well, yeah, 40 minutes from Melbourne.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm from Colorado.
Right. I have a friend who lives in Melbourne.
Chicago over
Well,
here.
we won't hold it against you, Chris.
Fair
I'm in
enough.
Illinois.
Hang on, please.
I got to just say real quick in response to what Robert and Jane just said is not necessarily involving food, but we actually have a town here in the central part of the state. Like obviously, like when you think of a state like Kentucky and their capital there is Louisville. Well, we got we got a town by that same name, except it's actually referred to as Louisville. So
Right.
I would have to tell anybody that if they're coming up from Louisville, Kentucky, they would
You're
think
right,
of
Robert.
the name. I'd be like, no, I mean, I don't live there, but you're wrong actually, because they don't refer it over there. Maybe the same name, but they don't pronounce it correct. They don't.
We have
pronounce
a Louisville, Colorado, so
Yeah, there you go.
Here.
I always like it when it comes to like the different names or whatever.
We pronounce our S's in Colorado.
right.
Sure as shit we do.
Well, up there where Nick is, they cover their S's.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
Another one is
So you guys don't just
Eat
eat.
Tim Tams and drink titties.
Drink tea.
It's
What?
jeez. I mean, you know what? We do. We do. We are. You know what? When you stereotype Australia, you're not really. It's so true.
yeah,
You can say anything about Australia that's so stereotypical, and it's probably on par.
Yeah.
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So there was something I was going to ask, and now I can't. It just
It's
left my
okay.
head. What do you have any
The
questions?
train left the station without you.
Yeah.
My train leaves without me all the damn time.
Lights on, but no one's home.
Pretty much.
There goes his caboose.
Kate's full of jokes tonight. She really is.
Oh my god.
Me off on the previous cast.
She,
Is that?
she'll behave.
That's right.
It's all good.
Kate, don't lie, you never behave.
She said, I will admit, she has said that quite a few times now.
Yeah.
It was gonna behave. So when exactly is she going to behave?
Mostly, eventually.
It's never.
So
Yeah.
Chris, here's a question I got to ask: is how's things going on with the Abbey so far?
They're ruining it, damn
You're still okay.
Still no word, just, yeah, what she said.
it. Yeah, I miss the old days.
I know.
What are you holding
Sorry,
up?
Robert, can't see it.
Your
Robert, it's
background's
glowing
messing
red.
it up, Robert.
I know.
Parasite.
There we
Yeah,
go.
couldn't see it. through the
I think he's,
screen.
he's got Tim Tams.
Back it up. There you go.
Mint slice.
He's got Tim Tams.
No, mint slice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I miss the Abbey,
It's
but I
nice to
don't
just minty
miss
Tim Tams.
having rocks thrown at my face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we were just talking
Nick,
about
do you have
we were just talking about this on our old show. I mean, on the old show, the show before that. Excuse me,
Previous year.
the previous show. Thank
I
you.
knew what you meant.
Yeah, before it went completely off
script.
track. That was a crazy show. But before we got into that, though, was we were talking about when it comes to locations like that, like in this case, the Abbey, that there's just so many locations out there that are just, you know, people around are just destroying the history of these things. And, you know, it's just, it's really unfortunate to see parts of history either being wiped out or being used for some. I mean, it's like in the case with the Abbey, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm glad it's still standing, but it's just unfortunate to see the loss of what it was originally supposed to be about. And
Right.
that's, it's a very unfortunate part to see in some of these locations nowadays.
Well, when you came out, Nick, was did they take you to Ullathorne Hall?
Yeah, they did.
So it was all decked out and whatnot. Yeah, see, I've been going to before that even happened when it was still like dorm rooms and shit.
Yeah, that was a location that I really thought to myself that, you know, I got to come back here, but obviously the plans were changed immediately after they started doing all these crazy things.
Yeah. Yeah, the new owners just
It's
want to
not the
make
same.
money, so they're you know, they're turning it into shops and shit. I'm like, no.
Right.
I'm glad I got to go on that last hunt, but it's not the same. Not the same.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Kate's got another question here. I guess
Just
this
got a
is
few.
yeah. What sort of folk law is there in Australia related to the paranormal? Only know the
Fisher's
Babadook. I
Ghost.
remember I saw that movie when that came out in theaters.
The Babadook.
Babadook.
There's a few different folklores. We have one which is quite famous. It's the Min Min lights.
Yep.
So you ever heard of the
Northern
Min Min
Territory.
lights before?
I don't think the US people have no.
That's okay.
Well,
So
Hi, Brew.
you can explain it, Rob, if because
I've mentioned it on other shows, but yeah, it's usually balls of light that follow a like truckers, like the 18 wheelers when they're traveling across the Northern Territory from one side to the other, and they'll just follow them. And so I'm not too sure if they have ever done any harm, but they're kind of like just a guide as far as I'm concerned. Um, I've actually seen one in New South Wales in going from Parks back to Tullamore in New South Wales. Parks is where they have that big observatory dish where they help to align the space mission. It's the town that they made the maybe the dish over on. And so yeah, from there to Tullamore, which is an hour's drive, there was something to my left out the window, and it followed me all the way home. A little blue ball, about probably that big,
yeah,
darting through the trees.
it's quite nuts.
Was it painful? Get rid of it. Oh, okay.
There's a documentary called Australian Skies, and they have a trilogy, and they discuss a lot about like UFOs and aliens and whatnot. The first
Hi, boys.
movie that they have is just about people that experience UFOs. There's this one bloke that for the last 20 years he's captured over 700 photos of UFOs,
Uh-huh.
and it's mainly because like when he feels like this presence of them, he goes outside and they're always there. And he actually
Yeah.
proved this to the documenters. The second time is when this bloke felt like he had a strong connection with that phenomena. So he went to a hypnotherapist and found out that he was actually abducted when he was a child, and he had like all these repressed memories coming up. And then the third one is about the Min Min lights, and basically like what Rob was saying is that these balls of light, similar to what Chris is holding, um, they just follow you. Like, and they try to say, oh, it could have been like the heat waves from the desert that were reflecting from another person's headlights and whatnot. But they realized that these things would actually follow you for ages and ages and ages. And if it was some sort of reflection, it would either deteriorate or disappear completely. But
Yep.
people would be followed for kilometers and miles and stuff like that. In terms of other folklore that we do have, we have what's called a bunyip. So,
Yeah.
like, yeah, bunyip is it's like a monster that derives from Aboriginal mythology,
Folklore.
and it lurks in the water and it sucks the blood of humans. So that's one. Then we also have the Yaramayahu, which is like another ancient Aboriginal mythos. It's a small creature with like these suckers on its mouth that live in fig trees, and it just jumps on anyone that comes by it and also sucks their blood. I don't know why all these things suck blood. And then we have drop bears.
Mm-hmm.
I also remember too, because again, I'm into a lot of the cryptid stuff too. As I remember also hearing you guys have pretty much kind of like your own version of Bigfoot over there, the Yowies, as they're called.
Yeah,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
yeah. There's this we have a few people down here that claim that they're Yowie hunters, and they I don't know. I can't really speak too much on it because I've done a lot of like research and stuff on Bigfoot and Sasquatch and stuff because that shit's interesting because of all the stories. But down here, there's maybe a handful of people that have experienced the Yowie or claims of the Yowie, but it's not as prevalent down here as what it is over in the States. So, but it's still interesting though.
Pretty
it's
big
funny.
here in Colorado.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because I remember several years ago the show Finding Bigfoot. They did an episode of wanting to try to find evidence of the Yowie, and that was the same thing for them. Like they said, they were amazed by how small the frequency of encounters of the Yowie were compared to the Pacific Northwest here in the States. But
Mm.
they still managed to like talk to some of the witnesses. You know, like what the few of them that were able to talk with them about their experiences. And I think when they did the actual hunt itself, I mean, as usual, they didn't really get as much activity or as much
Mm.
evidence, but they were able to get some, some type of level of activity there. I don't remember exactly what it was that they were able to capture. I think they did record at least some movement. Obviously, they were there in the dark, but I think they got some movement that they believe was possibly the Yowie. But that's pretty much all they got while they were visiting.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, that's a
I
cool.
wish it was a bit more prevalent here. I mean, a lot of the Australian mythology and cryptid stuff doesn't really hold a lot of weight because I don't think
Yeah.
a lot of people go out there and actually actively research this stuff. Like a lot of Australian people are quite skeptical of that sort of stuff. They're not really. It's unfair to say that they're not spiritually open minded. A lot of people in Australia definitely are, but not
Yeah.
like the US where you guys are like absolutely flooded in all these
Yeah,
different really cool cryptid mythologies and stories and whatnot, and actual people recounting
Yeah.
their own experiences. So up down here, it's just so different because we're still somewhat of a newer country where we're only founded in like the early 1800s or 1700s, and we're still sort of developing. So I think our history sort of speaks for itself where we are basically a convict country. Well, that's how we were founded, and
right.
Yeah.
there's not a lot of stories there to back up a lot of claims. We only get everything that we know from the Aboriginal side of stuff. But
Yeah.
you guys have been around for forever, so you have all those stories through history to back it up, even before Australia was even founded.
Absolutely.
Well said. Yeah. Yeah.
And not only just us. I mean, even parts of Europe have kind of done the same thing. In fact, in the UK, for example, and Kate, who's watching. She's originally from the UK, but now she lives in the Chicago area, so she might know about this. But the
Poor
UK
girl.
is actually home to the oldest running paranormal group in the world, which is just simply called the Ghost Club, and that
Oh
has
yeah.
yeah, and that has been a
Having
group.
trouble again.
Oh,
That's okay. It's all good.
I know
no
you can
problem.
hear me, but I can't hear y'all at
Oh,
all.
it's happening again with him.
Mm.
Hold on, let me try again.
All good, mate. Take your time.
Deep down.
But anyways, while he's getting that ready, I mean, the Ghost Club, that is still the oldest operating paranormal group in the entire world. That's been in operation, believe it or not, since 1862.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
even then, it still had its origins a few years prior, which its origins go as far back as 1855. So as a
Mm.
result, they've been operating now for pretty much 170 years to this very day. And even
Damn.
some of the UK's like biggest historical figures were either members or associates of the Ghost Club. Like
Mm.
you would never even think, like, if you hear about certain historic figures throughout the UK's hundreds, well, in this part of their history, you never would even realize that they were members of the Ghost Club themselves. And
Yeah.
it just today, I mean, from what I heard, is that they're kind of almost like a secretive type of group, so you don't really hear too much. Although I do recall 5 years ago there was a paranormal podcast that unfortunately they don't run it anymore, but it was definitely a very rare opportunity because they were interviewing one of the modern day members of the Ghost Club, and
Mm.
I don't specifically remember what he was talking about, but just hearing it from pretty much like the original ghost hunting group, that was pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. And it's cool because, like, back in the 1800s in the US, from what I know, like, it just, as soon as this ghost club was created, so many people decided to, like, follow in similar footsteps. Like, for example, I forgot what the chick's name is, but the wife of the original lady of the house at the Winchester Mansion. Like
Very.
she used to
Sarah
do,
Winchester.
yeah. So she used to do like a lot of that sort of stuff as well. And I
Yeah.
think even as far as like Edgar Allan Poe and all those types of people, like were so interested in the paranormal that it fueled so much to do with pop culture now. It's crazy to think that. But the first ever recorded like paranormal activity, if you want to go like way back in history, was in like the old Mesopotamian times. They discovered all these tablets under the ocean, and they were taking them out and they were trying to like translate all the words. And there was this one tablet specifically from the Mesopotamian era. It goes all the way back to like 49 like BC, which is like so fucking old. And they transcribed this tablet, and it was actually talking about one of the first accounts of an actual ghost story. And it was so like the paranormal has existed since before even Christ was a thing.
Yeah.
So it's wild to me, man. That's awesome.
It's fashionable.
Yeah. Like what Kate just said too, like even then, yeah, it was fashionable back then and it was a trend and curiosity. And you know, that's also something I've also kind of learned when it came to like not only just that kind of history, but also when it came to like even with the Ghost Club, because from what I remember hearing, if I'm thinking correctly, was during its early days, it's like the Ghost Club was again, it was even then it was kind of more like a secretive type of group. I mean, it was like it was interesting because men and women were both allowed to join, which was kind of unusual at a time like this. But not from what I heard is they, in spite of that, not really much of a huge paranormal element to them as they probably are today compared to us. So I think it's probably safe to say that a lot of us investigators today, as well as those who had recently passed, and also investigators of the last 50 to 100 plus years, I think it's pretty much safe to say that we're pretty much all descendants of these original ghost hunters, because that's where, like I said, that's where it all originally started. But like you said, even before them, it's been going on for centuries.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it's so cool to think that it's not like it's obviously paranormal investigations has become such a normal thing now,
Yeah.
where like you talk to a lot of people that have either been on a ghost tour or had their own experience. And
Hmm.
it's so nice to see so many people being more open to it rather than
Yeah.
like sort of closing the door and being like, oh, it is what it is, like I'll believe it when I see it type stuff. People are more
Yeah.
susceptible to being like, yeah, I think that there may be something. So
Yeah.
we're coming into a new age now where people, I think, are becoming more open-minded rather than closed off, and you can definitely see
Hmm.
that with the way people are. There's cracks in a system that we're all starting to see as well, and it makes you question everything. So why
Hmm.
not question the paranormal as well? And then there's people like us who actively go out there and do as much as we can and get that evidence. And even though it might be the same evidence as what other people have got, we're the ones that are connecting the dots to things and being like, we're starting to
Exactly.
understand a lot more about this than what we had ever done previously.
Yeah. 100%. Sorry, I'm just reading some of the comments. I
Yeah,
have a serious question. I have a serious question for the Aussies. What happens to a snake or who's spied in your house? That's from Kate.
I'm scrolling up right now to get to it.
Oh,
Oh, here it
Well,
is.
there was a tiger snake that appeared in our rented house up in Belladon Kerr, and it didn't make it. Spiders are
yeah.
okay, but the snakes, no. If they come into the kitchen, no, bye bye.
Oh, here it is.
There we go.
So there's a snake or a huge spider. Well, um, the snake turns into a skipping rope.
If you can get both ends.
No, no,
But
no.
one of them I had held up like that, and its tail was still on the ground. So,
No, I mean, like I've personally never encountered a snake in my home.
Me
Spiders, however,
neither.
are very, very common. Um, if you do see a snake, just call a local snake catcher, or if you feel comfortable, just grab it by the tail, extend your arm out, and just don't get bitten, and then just place it outside or at a nature reserve. With a spider, I mean, I don't know. If people are different,
Yeah.
I let
I'm
them
good.
go. I have a daddy longlegs that lives in my closet, and he's chill. He doesn't move. But if you get like a huntsman or like a funnel web or something like that, then or
Oh
a
yeah,
white
those go
tail or
by.
something, you just,
I mean,
some people just like flong them like
okay, let's see
with a
here.
sandal, and
Sorry about that,
then
guys. Had a lot of man.
Yeah, we could
My,
hear you.
my dog likes to beat
You hear me,
snakes.
and I hear y'all.
Bro,
Awesome.
he takes them and does this whole thing until they die.
Well, I think I
So
can
how's
understand
everybody
where-
doing? It's been a while. What's going on,
Yeah,
Nick? What's going on,
it's great to see you again.
Chris, Nikki, Rob?
Hey, Jaden.
Nicole up in that corner, I don't think you ever met her.
I see a new face. It's
Yeah.
nice to meet you, sir.
Sup, dude?
Nicole and Jaden, you probably never met.
Yep. Like, this is Jaden from Paracult. He's from Melbourne, and yeah, you've met everyone else. Yeah.
You know,
Loka kind of does like the more of the scientific side of paranormal investigations. So like he'll do like little experiments and stuff like that. So which I'm going to try one this weekend.
Do it.
So fingers crossed.
I also just got to say real quick, because, I think the reason why Kate was also asking such a question like that is, I mean, obviously, I know there's that whole thing there where they say like a lot of the animals and, insects and bugs down there are said to be much larger. Like they say that everything's big down in Australia. So I think that's why Kate was asking such a question like that, because knowing that the creatures are more larger over there, if I'm thinking correctly.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, we do have some pretty large spiders down here, man.
You
like,
do.
it's so common, and you just get used to it. Like when you're raised in Australia, if you see like a massive spider in your house,
Yeah.
it's pretty
Just let it
pretty
do its
common.
thing.
Yeah, just let it do its thing.
Just out of curiosity, because I maybe I'm wrong. I mean,
Yeah.
the idea of like spiders and some of these other creatures out there that are said to be larger than like average, because obviously over here they're much smaller. Is it mainly because of like oxygen levels or something that causes them to be big or something?
The amount of food they can catch.
Oh, the food. Okay.
Because I've just sent Kate a picture of the huntsman spider that we had in the trailer, and the trailer's been exposed to the elements. It's got a tarp over it, but there should have been a number of cockroaches, but there are only 2 cockroaches out of the lot that have been there for the last about 7
Alien
months.
experimentation.
So this huntsman spider is about that big across, like full hand, like there. Yeah, he's been having a good feed. So
Have you named him, Robert?
pardon?
Have you named him?
No.
Oh.
Dead. That's what I would mean.
Well, I also just realized, and this also brings up another legend that I heard of, and Jaden, maybe you've heard of this one. Nikki, I've told you about before, and it brings up another cryptid story. In fact, is if you guys have ever heard about the Megalania, if that sounds familiar.
It sounds familiar, but I have no idea.
The Megalania, from what I heard, I mean, it's been associated with the Aboriginal folklore too, which it was said
where
to
Hulk
be.
Hogan beat Andre the Giant?
No, but it was. I will say this: it was the largest, it was the largest monitor lizard that ever lived, and it was said to have gone. Yeah, they said it was to have gone extinct about probably about 100, like over almost 200,000 years ago. So, but think of it like a lot of people compare it to like the modern day Komodo dragon, although obviously, as we all know, the Komodo dragon is not native to Australia unless it's like in zoos or something like that. But they have noticed a close relationship between the two. But like the Komodo dragon, the Megalania may have attacked humans, but given its greater size, it would have been far more lethal. I mean, like the Komodo dragon, modern day Komodo dragon, can anywhere grow to like 10 to 15 feet long. The Megalania, on the other hand, could have grown anywhere between 20 to 30 feet long. So we're talking like a huge lizard here, and I mean, almost the size of a school bus. So just that thing would.
That sounds like the Durawong. That's supposed to
Kind
be
of does in a way.
rectangle Megalania,
Yeah, I mean,
a
it would have.
7 to 10 meters long goanna that went extinct about 40,000 years ago. So
Yeah, 40,000. I'm sorry. Yeah, I meant to say 40,000 years ago, but they did say that. I mean, to this day, there are still supposedly reports of giant lizards like that they suspect may have been Megalania. And the one thing they know for sure about this creature is that although Megalania is presumed to be extinct despite the amount of sightings and reports, one thing for sure is that it surely did encounter humans, though, when the early Aboriginal settlers arrived on Australian soil more than 140 to 150,000 years ago. So, therefore, prior to its extinction, it would have at least shared land with humans for at least about 20,000 years.
I would have ridden one to school.
Yeah, you could have, considering how big it was.
Yeah,
That's funny
it'd be
thing.
so
He would
cool.
have.
Imagine that, like riding a
He
giant
would have.
lizard
Yeah.
to school. Like no one would fuck with you, man.
So who wants to be the big scary monster?
Call him Boris.
Down by the refrigerator. Okay. Vegemite, yes or no? Yeah. Sorry. Yep.
No, I'm just trying to catch up with all the comments.
Absolutely. You know what? I hate watching Americans try and eat Vegemite because y'all do it so wrong. Like every time an American says like, "We're trying Australian snacks today," we've heard a lot about Vegemite. We're really scared to try Vegemite, and then you do it wrong. You need to add butter to it, brother.
I haven't tried it, but I've seen it for myself, and it's just like, oh my god! I've even was telling myself one time watching, I'm thinking to myself, this is probably not the way how they do it in Australia, and I guess now I've learned that you guys are right.
They had the kid from Lock and Key, the TV show on Netflix down here, and they gave him a jar of it to try, and he took a huge spoonful of it and just stuck it straight in his mouth, and he turned green, basically. And he said, "No, you can keep it."
He turned into the bird behind you.
Pretty much.
One comment I forgot from Kate, she makes a good point. This was back like when you were saying, Jaden, about like, how people are, like when it comes to like those that are starting to get into the paranormal. So I think especially as people are less religious now, but they're more open to other influences.
Yeah, it's so strange. I think the Catholic Church just released a statement saying that they've had a massive influx of people ending like leaving like the church and other religious belief systems just recently.
Well, here's a really good question I got to ask, because I was just thinking about this, while we were talking about it, and maybe you guys know I'm sure maybe you guys know the answer, but the fact that the paranormal is starting to grow, more frequently, in Australia, I often I heard this question before, but it's been a long time, and it's also been a couple of years, but has that in any way ever? All right, what was that, Nikki? Oh, I thought
Vegemite.
She's got her Vegemite out.
Oh, the Vegemite.
Demonstrating.
You put a little tiny bit of Vegemite on people. Not like.
What is Vegemite?
I know what it is.
You know, Vegemite.
Jaden, how would you?
I didn't get a word of that. Sorry.
What is a Vegemite? I don't know what that is.
Vegemite is yeast extract.
Yeah, from making beer.
Yeah. It's basically like solidified beer, but with no alcohol content, and it's very salty.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Wouldn't it get you drunk faster?
It's no, it doesn't. No, all the alcohol's been distilled, and it's become separated from the yeast itself. So, Yeah, then they just add a fuck ton of salt to it. So
Ew.
yeah.
That's something I probably couldn't
Mhm.
do. That would just
Mm.
be way too intense.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
might.
like if you have like a tablespoon
It's
of
not
it,
that
you'll
bad.
probably have like the same
Oh,
heartburn.
On a cracker?
You can have it on a
you
cracker.
okay?
On bread, on
Nicole,
crackers.
you're right.
Yeah, the dogs just decided to go crazy for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Okay, just want to make sure you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, totally fine. I just,
Yep.
yeah, I'm moving with my computer, so I didn't want to give y'all like vertigo.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
No worries.
Thank you.
It's all
Yeah,
good. We're just sitting here.
it's true. I don't even eat peanuts. It's not because I'm allergic to them. It's just due to the fact, as I always say, there's just certain foods out there, like probably or even drinks like Vegemite, for example, where I just simply say the taste buds just don't ever agree.
Mm.
Nick don't like nuts. It's okay.
So, what I was going to ask is, I mean, I'm sure you guys know this, but now that the paranormal is really starting to grow more often in Australia, have you guys happened to notice, like, has that had any else like any type of influence, like in the Aboriginal communities? Like, has any of the Aboriginal people taken part of it? I know they're pretty, you know,
Spiritual.
I
Um,
yeah,
yeah, so it's a really sensitive topic, to be
Mm.
completely honest.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, you know, I don't know about you guys, but my team specifically, if we do come across any Aboriginal spirit or places or like even locations that are specific to like some hardcore Australian history or some religious stuff
Mm.
that they used to do, we do leave it alone because you know Aboriginals are already a very spiritual people, but they have I don't know. It's just out of respect we just don't delve into it
Mm.
with the Aboriginal side of stuff. Just
That's
because
fair.
they can be very sensitive toward that because they have their own beliefs and their own way of life, and if we were to impede on that, it could be very disrespectful.
Yeah,
Like
well,
Native American.
we were actually invited to stay at the Rocks in Nimbin, which is an
Oh wow!
Aboriginal um, landmass that
Yeah.
they actually invited us in, so we were okay. But I could definitely feel that there was something there up in the rocks, watching
Mm.
pretty much over everything. So
Yeah, Aboriginal spirits are quite.
Yeah.
They're quite aggressive. Actually,
they
like a
can
lot
be.
of like they can be. Like we investigated this. Well, I used to run tours at this place called Police Point,
Right.
and it was well known to have a poltergeist there. But the land itself that the location was built on used to be a Aboriginal birthing ground. So all the
Right.
women from each tribe would go there to give birth because it was
Oh,
right
wow.
next to the
Yeah.
ocean. And they used to
Mm-hmm.
bury the afterbirths and stuff like that all around the place. So it was a very high intensity location. And the location that we were investigating at, being Police Point, there is an Aboriginal spirit there, and he's been known to be quite violent, especially to white people. And I think it's mainly for the protection of the land from what it used to be. So
Yeah.
we don't really try and pay it attention because the more you do, the more you get back, and the more you don't want to have it. So
right.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
yeah.
That's kind of
Yes.
similar almost in a way to like over here, you know, where we have the Native Americans. And I've actually noticed kind of a similarity between like the Native Americans here and also the Aboriginals. Like, because I did notice they have, although there is a lot of differences between the two groups, I did notice that they do have, you know, kind of at times similar culture. Some of them even have some of the same beliefs. And although over here we do have some Native Americans that are willing to investigate with us, or even if they're not full blooded, they have the ancestry to them. But that's kind of the same thing with us too. I mean, it's one thing if it was a location that was built like on Native American land, like obviously, like we didn't know about it, obviously, but if it was like it's the same thing. If it's true Native American land that is like sacred, because they also too are kind of sensitive. We kind of, unless they ask us to investigate it, we usually leave those areas alone too, because that's obviously considered their land even to this day. So we kind of take a similar approach like that as
Yes.
well.
What would be your thoughts on Skinwalker
Mhm.
Ranch? Because obviously those spirits are derived from
Yeah.
American
Mm.
Indian culture. So how is it that they've been allowed to exploit that, whereas anywhere else it's been a bit different?
So Skinwalker Ranch, it's a little different. Now, first off, I haven't been to Skinwalker Ranch myself, so I've been wanting to go for several years, but I
Have you
think
been,
there's
Nicole?
just what was that, Chris?
I was asking Nicole if she's been to Skinwalker Ranch.
No.
Yeah, Skinwalker Ranch is a place I'm really hoping to get out to, sometime real soon. Although I have heard recently that they have closed off certain sections of Skinwalker Ranch. I mean, supposedly it's been by the U.S.
Mhm.
government, although I'm not I'm not entirely sure exactly what is true and what's not because there's a lot of different rumors that are going about access to Skinwalker Ranch. But I think it's almost the entire land in general that is like cursed. I think now, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
There are some reservations that are located within those areas. So obviously, you still have the reservations and tribes that still live in those areas. And even if the government did cut those areas off, they're still fortunately allowing the tribes to live in that area because they have obviously for generations. But I think when it comes to that particular area, it is just so wide with the amount of and not just it's not just of course Native American activity like spirit wise, but there's been so much other types of activity. The UFOs, a lot of Bigfoot like creatures, strange lights in the sky. So I think in a way when it comes to
Big
an
blue
area like
balls.
yeah, I think when it comes to like Skinwalker Ranch, even if you're not there to truly investigate the activity, it's just nonstop. And it's like if you go out to an
Yeah.
area like Skinwalker Ranch, you're more likely to encounter something, even if you're not a paranormal investigator. It just goes
At
to
one
show you.
time, they had 24-hour cams we could watch. I don't
Yeah,
know
they
if
would
that's
have They would have cameras, and I know the History Channel. They've been doing a show of their own involving Skinwalker Ranch, which that's actually a show I've been interested in wanting to check out. I haven't had the opportunity yet, but I think that's them really trying to get deep into the bottom of what Skinwalker Ranch is all about. And of course, with the additional activity, of course, you got the Skinwalker itself that's live throughout different areas of the desert, although
Yeah.
it's not just restricted to that area. There's been skinwalker encounters pretty much throughout a good portion of the country. We've even had them here in the southern part of the state, so they've really expanded. So but that
oh,
ranch
wow.
it's the ranch I would probably say it's Skinwalker Ranch. I would probably say is almost a mystical kind of place. It draws a lot of people in.
Yeah, it might just be like a frequency thing.
With that question,
Yeah.
yeah,
Maybe a lot of ley line
with
convergence.
that question, yeah, our team. Sorry, with our team, we don't investigate any locations that have that history. We do actually have an Indigenous person on our team, and before we go out, we actually ask her, like, "Hey, does your elders recommend that we go there?" And if she goes, "No, we don't do it," and she'll have to always ask permission before she comes out to investigation. Hey, can I go with this team? And her auntie will be like, yes or no. But yeah, they've given us a list of locations that we should not recommend investigating, and we will not recommend investigating those locations. So yeah, we're very similar to Jaden on that side.
Yeah, I think when it comes to these type of locations, it's always good to just kind of play it safe because there are times like even after when you think you know everything about a particular location, like let's even say in this case with
Yeah,
Skinwalker Ranch, you definitely have to be
yeah,
careful with what you're encountering because it's not even just for the paranormal aspect of it. It's just like what
yeah,
you said, Nikki, like asking around to make sure that this is correct or anything like that. That's just always a very important factor.
RESPECT.
yeah.
Well, it's not the skinwalkers that you got to worry about. It's the skin
Yes.
runners.
As
Yeah,
long as I can run faster than the person with me.
And they
Right.
can also defy gravity and
yeah.
run through walls yeah.
Look to the western sky.
Can do that.
Well, there's another. I don't know if this is connected to Skinwalker Ranch, but there's also another area. It's also in the western part of the U.S. Is we have something that's also called the Devil's Highway, which for the longest time it was called Highway 666. Now I think it was over maybe 30, 40 years ago. I think they, yeah, about over 30 years ago, where I think they did recently change up the numbers to avoid, the
Confusion.
unholy name to it. But even after changing the numbers to the highway, it's still been called Highway 666 and the Devil's Highway. But even with the replacement, it still doesn't seem to have changed that part of the land area. That they're still
Dude,
getting all.
that is so fucking cool.
Yeah,
That's
and it
sick.
goes on.
Is it like a crossroads? It's like where Ghost Rider signed the contract with Mephisto and shit. Like
They
that's
have, like,
that's so dope,
from what
dude.
from what I've heard about the encounters that occur on the Devil's Highway, there's like sightings of like ghost trucks. They've had UFO sightings. Hellhounds have been seen. People have
That's so cool.
People have disappeared, but then they can't come back and realize they've lost time. It's like there was I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. If any of you guys seen that show, it doesn't run anymore. Monsters and Mysteries in America. Anyone ever seen it?
Yeah, that was like ages ago, man.
They did a segment of it one time, and they interviewed a guy who was driving a truck back in the early '70s, and he said he saw what looked like a giant cloud coming up over the top of the mountains, and this cloud just started making its way towards his truck. And when it got on top of his truck, he started seeing these green electrical flashes, almost like green lightning. And it was like right over the
after
top.
clouds myself.
It was like right over the top of his truck. And this thing just kept going. And eventually because when he first saw it, he thought to himself, should I continue going or should I stop? And he thought, okay, well, I can outrun it. I can outrun anything like I've had previously. But this thing just kept staying right on top of him. After a long time, he had to stop, and this green electrical like lightning or whatever it was reverberating within him, and he actually had to throw himself to the back of the truck because he felt like the noise was just intense, and he was going out of his mind with the noise, and he just like fell asleep. But when he woke up, he looked at his clock. Well, first he saw that his watch wasn't working, and after I'll take that back. No, he did look down on his watch after kind of checking the cloud was gone. Everything was back to normal. Yeah. But when he looked down, he found out that somehow 3 hours had gone by, and he had and it just felt like it was just a few minutes that he had gone through this entire experience, and he couldn't explain what it was that he encountered. I mean, was this something, extraterrestrial? We don't know if it was extraterrestrial or if it was some type of being taking the shape of a cloud or if it was like some curse or something. But it was all involving the Devil's Highway at the end of the day. And he's still if he's still alive today, he still doesn't know what happened. It was definitely one of the most bizarre paranormal encounters I've ever heard of, because I've never heard of anything like that before.
Dude, that's so fucking cool.
Yeah, I gotta go over there.
That's awesome.
Good night, Kate. She's calling in tonight.
Night, Kate. See you, hon.
Take care.
I want to go on the Devil's
See you
Highway.
with your friends.
I want to go, dang it. I want to experience all kinds of stuff.
Me and Dirk are going to go. We'll tell y'all if we see green clouds and shit.
Yeah.
Road trip.
Road trip. Let's go.
Road trip right there. It's like you don't even have to really truly go anywhere to investigate. The road, you're right on, the location is right on the road.
There you go.
We'll just be snacking on our beef jerky. Be like, oh, look, a hellhound. Come here, boy. Come here. And it'd be so dope, dude.
Can you appear before us?
Yeah.
We have a haunted road here kind of in my neck of the woods. It's called Riverdale Road. Supposedly haunted.
That already sounds creepy. like the show Riverdale?
Colorado's Riverdale Road is also referred to as the Gates of Hell. It is well known for its unsettling legends. The stories are of ghostly bodies hanging from trees, demon children, and a phantom jogger along this 11-mile length. It's supposedly one of the most haunted roads in the world. It is rumored that an entire community of Satanists once lived in the area and performed rituals in a field on the side of the road. An old dairy on Riverdale is also said to be home to a tree which was used to hang women accused of witchcraft. Keep in mind, this is like less than 30 minutes from me.
Hey, I'm just writing down everything you're telling me right now. I'm just writing ideas for when I go investigate.
Are you here in Colorado, Lurker?
No, Texas.
Texas? Okay. What part?
South Central, San Antonio area.
Okay. My sister used to live in San Antonio.
So here's something you guys should know about, because I just decided to see the exact length of what the Devil's Highway is today. It's now called U.S. Route 491, but it's still referred to as Highway 666 or the Devil's Highway. And it was actually I correct myself. It was over 20 years ago, back in 2004, we recovered it. But Chris and Nicole, you guys should know that part of that the Devil's Highway runs in Colorado.
Yeah. And there's very up there too, Nicole.
The states it runs through is New Mexico, Colorado, and Utah. I thought it also extended to Arizona, but right now they're saying that it's just through 3 states.
Oh, it connects.
Oh, man. I might buy my ticket to travel over there soon. The
11-mile challenge.
Pick up Carlos, drive up to Denver, grab me and Nicole.
Yeah, man. I think I'll have to get you guys to drive, because driving on the wrong side of the road scares me.
Yeah, you guys drive on the other side. That's right.
I only ever did that twice over there.
No, fuck that. No way.
And I'm scared to drive anywhere that's not on this.
Yeah, Robert, when you did that, I'm sure that must have been confusing as hell.
Well, I was going. It was in Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
We were just leaving the Multnomah Falls rest stop area, and I was driving with my mother because she'd come over to help with the firstborn baby of mine, and we were driving back towards Portland, and I just naturally went on the left side of the road, and then we were cresting a hill, and another car was coming straight towards us. So I realized, oh shit, I had to go to the other side.
Oh, jeez.
And that was in the snow. The light snow was falling, so it was a little bit iffy with the wheels too, because it was cold.
I'd be so scared. I'd be so scared of making the wrong turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it true
when
that you
people
guys
drive with me, I have a lead foot, honestly. I'm a speed demon. So I scare a lot of my friends.
I'll just have a blast. Master.
Well, I'll drive you up into the mountains on those curvy roads going, yeah.
I drive like a grandma.
I love driving on them.
I'm such a I need to obey the road
You
rules
see,
kind
5
of guy.
people died on Third Bridge.
So I gotta ask this too. In addition to you guys driving on the other side of the road, do you guys also is the wheel also on the other side too? Because over here we drive our driving wheels on the
left side. Yeah, ours on
That's
the right.
another thing that's also scary as well. My partner would love it because she's already telling me to drive anyway. So if we were to try, so if we were in the US, she'd have a blast.
Well, one way to confuse the Australian police is to get an American car and go driving around it. So if they pull someone over, the passenger will be breath tested.
Yeah, I've seen that video. steering wheel, and the cop's like, "Can you do random breath testing?" He's like, "I'm not the driver."
You came up
I-
positive for
we-
Tim Tams and
Yeah,
Tinny.
We had a similar experience like that when we were down. I think it was one of the islands off the coast of Mexico, and they also drove the opposite end too. I mean, the opposite side too, and that was actually a little scary because it wasn't even just the fact that they drove on the opposite side too, but also due to the fact that um, when they have like stop signs and stuff like that, they don't necessarily slow down. Now, I don't know if any of you guys have ever. I don't know if any of you guys have ever truly been down to Mexico, but the stop signs and stuff they have, that obviously over there, it's a suggestion, not an enforcement. That makes it even more freakier.
I'm closing my eyes. I'm gonna make sure I get past. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
El Stopo, only if you want to.
Let me find out you be rolling them stop signs.
Yeah.
You need to shave.
That's funny. Yeah.
Had your hair. I was like, you need to shave.
Look, do you have
It looked like you're.
No.
Oh man.
Loka, do you have anything coming up?
No. Not yet. Working on it.
Loka.
I do remember though, I'm going on the Spirit Heart cruise in November out of Fort Lauderdale. We are going to Rose Hall,
Fun.
Oh wow.
and so we're stopping in Nassau, Bahamas, Jamaica, and supposed to stop in Labadee, Haiti. Supposed to be a third stop, but that's kind of on hold right now because there's some thing going on in Haiti right now, so we don't know if we're actually going to stop in Haiti or not.
One thing for sure, if you go to Rose Hall, you're gonna have truly one hell of a time at that because I heard it's crazy when you investigate Rose Hall.
Yeah, it'll be during the day, but that's all right.
I obviously you're gonna have to stop at the grave site supposedly that the White Witch is buried in.
Yeah, it's right there, I guess.
Appreciate.
Yeah, I'm excited to go. It's November. We leave November 9th out of Fort Lauderdale. So
That's so awesome.
I'm sort of investigating, but it's not really, you know.
Yeah. Sean told me about that. I was like, I wish I had money, but I would have.
Well, and it sucks because it's an excursion. So we have to pay even more for the frickin' go.
Yeah.
So, but it's all right. Yeah, my sister Jen and I are gonna go. So, and Sean will be there, and Chris Brewer, Christopher Allen Brewer.
So when you guys do sort of investigate Rose Hall like it as much as you guys are able to, are you guys also going to try? Are you guys going to try to do some documentation while you're there, or what are you guys thinking about?
It's part of the crew or the Spirit Hall. Let me see if I can pull up the info because he sent it to me. Where is it? Let's see here. No, that's not what I wanted. Image reminder. No, that's
Loka, while she's
register. Here we go.
whoops,
So
sorry.
let's see. So yeah, we're going to investigation led by world-renowned psychic medium Kevin Lee. I'm not sure. I've never met him. In the Caribbean, Rose Hall is steeped in the legendary tale of Annie Palmer, infamously known as the White Witch. It doesn't specifically say kind of what we're doing, but we're gonna be from port. We're gonna be bussed or whatever over there for however long. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the cruise more, just to chill out and relax.
Get out of Colorado for a while.
Yes, I need the ocean in my life right now.
Well, Well,
I
one
am.
thing I can tell you for sure is, I mean, if you
Mm.
guys, I'm sure you already know this, but man, Rose Hall, and when it comes to the White Witch, that place undoubtedly has a very dark history to it. You know, like
Yeah.
that woman was truly evil. You know, like when she was during her days when
Yeah.
she owned Rose Hall.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Honestly, I consider her kind of more of a serial killer, if anything.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm.
Yeah.
As we discussed last week, I'm
You know
dental
where I would
and
love
I
to
don't
invest-
sense shit.
You know,
So
Yeah.
no, that's okay. Cool.
You know what I find interesting too is like, you know,
One
Haiti.
place I would love to investigate is the Adelaide jail. That's one
So what
place
was
I'd
that,
love to
Nikki?
investigate. Adelaide jail. I said the one place I would love to investigate is Adelaide jail or Melbourne jail. So yeah,
Well, if
quite
it hadn't
tough
been booked out,
locations
we
in
would have been
Australia.
at the old Mount Gambier jail because they rent that one out now.
Oh, that
It's
would be
actual
cool.
hotel rooms, but it's in the middle of town. Like I've seen where it
Oh,
is, and it's like smack dab right in the middle of town, and all these apartments around it and everything like that. But they said that there were steps there, so we didn't book it because I didn't. They were told I was told not to take my leg with me for that trip. So next time I take my leg, no matter what.
yeah, just whack him across the head with a whip leg. You
I've been
don't
Yeah.
let
lucky
me in,
enough
I'll whack
to
you across the
investigate Missouri State Penitentiary
Oh,
twice.
oh yes.
Twice.
Do you want to or you have?
I've always wanted to go to Missouri State Penitentiary.
It's an amazing place. Like the first time I went was for some big thing. So there was a bajillion people there. But the second time I went, we had a group of 12 of us,
Ooh, much
and
better.
they had two tour guides. Six went with one, six went with the other. And our guy was awesome. He'd be like, okay, this is building 5 or whatever, wherever we were. He's like, if you have questions, I'm going to be sitting right here. You guys have fun. And we just pretty much had free reign in the building when we were there. So it was a lot cooler to be able to do it there that time. And then I've been to the Sally House in Atchison, Kansas.
Yep.
Yeah.
Was that
Spent the
good?
night there. That was fun.
Was the
I
Sally's
wanna
house
Another
do
good?
location on my
Because
list I'd like to go to.
because I find it,
That's like
it
back
one
in between us time wise.
I think it's so weird how people go to all these like insanely haunted places, right? Like these massive YouTubers that go there, and it's so overly dramatized. And then
Oh
when
God.
normal people go there and they do that shit, it's just like it was great, but it wasn't to the extent of what they expected.
Right.
Yeah, man, I agree with that.
Mhm.
Like,
Talking about that.
Mm,
Yeah, I
How
got
they have,
It's
how
the
they
thing,
have
Nick.
to have those.
mm,
I got annoyed by two people that were
Mhm.
part of my group of the 6 of us
Yeah.
because like we'd like wander to the same area together and then we'd kind of whatever, and I'd kind of step away
Wow.
and like go a few cells down, whatever,
mm.
and to be by myself to try and they kept following me. Like I'm like, dude, leave me alone. Go away.
Take 2 steps back.
Yeah.
Don't want us to haunt you.
Yeah,
Oh God.
Like,
I'm trying to like be alone for a few minutes. Just go away. Doesn't mean I don't like you,
yeah.
but go away.
Now, Robert, this is quite an
That's from the
interesting
space, yeah,
location.
to do it.
This is quite an interesting location that you sent me. The Mount
Yeah.
Gambier Gowl,
Jail.
a jail. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, jail.
That's
I
another-
forgot. I forgot. You guys spell it differently over there. Jail. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
And
another place. I would love to
it'll only be about half an hour from where we're building. So yeah, I'll be able to go and have a look at it at least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that looks like it's quite a lot of
Mhm.
history to it. Just
Ooh.
seeing just even seeing the historic look to it. So that's something I'm gonna have to.
That and also all the sinkholes. They've
Oh,
beautified
yeah.
all the sinkholes over there. Like there are gardens in the sinkholes that they've put in. So I saw a part of one as we were paying for one of the things at the bank across the road from it. That's where that big blue echidna was that I took the photo of.
All this talk about jails, I've actually been thinking about this for the longest time. Like, obviously, I love going to different like haunted locations, but I like to get out and investigate, more jails and prisons more often.
Yeah.
But there actually is one particular. Unfortunately, this is never going to happen anytime soon because what I'm about to bring up is a prison that is still in operation. But who knows?
Mhm.
Maybe at some point down the.
In the
In
future.
fact, actually,
Just get arrested and request that one.
get arrested. Yeah.
Just don't
Carlos,
ask
you may
who's going to stick in equipment.
exactly. Probably would be contraband immediately. No, there's a prison that's down at Carlos. You may not actually know it because it's down in the state of Texas. I know
ATX.
Texas has a lot of different prisons, especially old ones. If you're familiar with Huntsville unit, you know that one.
No, I'm familiar with the jail that used to be a jail, but it's a hotel, Holiday Inn hotel now. I'm familiar
So
with that.
Huntsville unit, that is actually the oldest operating prison in the state of Texas. It's been in operation. It was built and it's been in operation since 1849.
Oh.
And while a lot of the prison has gone through a lot of changes, a lot of it is still pretty much original. It's also called the Walls Unit because it has this huge red brick wall that surrounds the prison itself. And what is quite what's quite unique about it compared to other prisons, and again, Carlos, you living in Texas, I don't even have to really say it. I know, obviously, I know Texas obviously is really big on the death penalty over there.
Oh yes.
So, like, because I saw a documentary about Huntsville unit, and they say in other states that have the death penalty, it could be years before you're ever executed. But when it's in Texas, you're going to die. And if you're in Huntsville unit, that is the true death. That is the true death chamber over there because Huntsville unit, believe it or not, has the most active execution chamber in the entire United States, and it's had a history of different executions between 1820 between 1819 and 1923. The method of execution was by hanging, but then eventually that was abolished because it was introduced to the electric chair, old Sparky as they refer to it as, and so then between 19, between 1924 and 1964, that was the means of execution then until 1965 when at that time the state of Texas dubbed the death penalty cruel and unusual punishment, and that was the only time that Texas abolished the death penalty. But it didn't last long because the death penalty was reinstated in 1982, and since 1982, the method of execution's been lethal injection, and
Yeah.
there's never really been a year that the execution chamber has not been used. So just imagine just how many executions that have been going through that execution chamber, and just the amount of activity that's got to be echoing throughout the walls of that penitentiary.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Like
It's insane.
that's a lot that's happened within that course of over 100 years, like that, and they changed up different,
Yeah.
execution methods. So there could be a lot going on in that.
Mhm.
They say there are some websites that do say that the prison is haunted, but obviously, again, because it's still in operation, you can't just simply walk in. I mean, honestly, you only have three ways
Just
of
walk
getting
into the prison. I love it.
Yeah, like there's only three
Just
ways to ever
occasionally
walk
walking.
into. Yeah, there's only three ways to walk into the prison. Either you've been arrested and you've been sent there, obviously, or if you're an employee, you're a guard, or believe it or not, if you're one of the families of the victims. Because the way how they also do their executions now, it's like in this turquoise room, and there's a gurney right in the center. And when there was a previous warden that lived there, I mean, excuse me, that worked there, he added a pillow to the gurney, just to, I guess, try to release less of the stress for inmates that are about to be executed. And it's been still part of the gurney ever since. And they have two windows on either side of the room, and they're reservation rooms practically. One obviously is for the the family of the condemned, the one who's going to be executed, and obviously the other room is for the room of the victim or victims, and also reporters and prosecutors, everybody, and they always keep both groups separated because obviously not everyone is going to get along
Yeah.
from both sides, but
That's true.
that's the only other way that you can get access. It's like if you were a relative of the victim themselves.
Oh, I was thinking like, oh, hey, I'm a paranormal investigator. Just walk on in. Hey, I got some fancy equipment. I'm a paranormal investigator.
You
Blah.
could just break into prison.
There you go. Just go to jail right there for trespassing.
Yeah.
But like I said, just knowing that it has
Yeah,
the
it's
most
not
active
the other way.
what's that? No, just knowing it has the most active execution chamber
that,
there. I
Chris?
mean, you can't imagine just like how many spirits are like just
Oh,
thriving throughout the
plethora.
entire. And then not too far is you also have the
Mm.
it's I can't remember what it's called. Then you got the prison cemetery that's not too
Ooh.
far. And now a lot of the graves that you see today, a lot of them are mainly from after the year 1979. But no doubt, the least bet that there's got to be many more graves prior to 1979 that are still buried there, but may have. Unfortunately, the cemetery that is near Huntsville, it has experienced numerous floods over the decades. So some of those, you know, prison graves, if you will, or inmate graves, I would say, have kind of been washed away. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously, they've probably been lost in time, and they don't know exactly where some of the these plaques belong to. So it's got to be a lot more than what you actually see in the cemetery.
Oh man, it's like a hotbed of paranormal activity. Especially some of those graves may not even be. They may not even
Yeah.
be marked. They may be unmarked. Who
Yeah,
knows?
and just like a lot of prisons, like those who are executed, a lot of them are not reclaimed by their families,
Exactly.
either because they're ashamed of them or they can't afford it, or due to the fact that, I don't even have to remind you. I mean, Texas is a huge state, so like you got the inmate may have been from the other side of the state, and it's just too far away for people to just drive all the way over to pay their respects. There's actually a typical rule
Yeah.
that goes along in that prison where if the families are not present for the deceased, the inmates and those that are the grave diggers, those that work out in the cemetery, they're the only visitors that can pay their respects. And they even say that if the inmate was executed, like if the inmate was in prison at Huntsville and was executed there, the inmate may most likely know the inmate that was executed. But if the inmate was executed somewhere else but was sent to that same cemetery, good likely chance the inmates of Huntsville are not going to know who he is.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. But anyways, guys, thanks for having me on. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. I'm gonna go get. I'm gonna eat some dinner. It's getting kind of late, but thank you
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
guys.
gonna finish
Oh,
them.
and
It was good seeing you again, Tom.
Nicole, it's nice meeting you again.
Nice to meet you.
Jaden, first time meeting you. Nice to meet you, sir.
You
Hope we
too,
can
brother.
Good
chill
seeing
out.
you, man.
Everybody, it was nice to see y'all again and chill with
See you,
y'all.
dude.
Good night.
Yeah, you have a great rest of your night.
You too,
You
guys.
do.
Take care. Much
Art.
love.
Hey,
Never
look.
doing parts.
It's okay, it's all good. So yeah, I think we may call it a night, Nick, because I know it's quite late where you guys are. So
Yeah, it's already past over here.
I
It's
think
already past
It's
midnight.
11:11 here. Make a wish.
Yeah, it's already it's past midnight over here. So, but thankfully, once again, as I told you guys before, I don't have to work tomorrow morning, so I'm able to sleep in.
yeah,
Yay,
yeah,
sleep.
lucky duck. Go sleep.
I'll sleep
Sleep.
until my
What's
dog
that?
comes to get up.
Well, I will leave this. I will leave this to you guys, and it's kind of going back on the cryptid mythology, by the way. I mean, although it's also based on a movie, I should probably tell you guys too. Tomorrow night, I'm going out with a couple friends of mine. We're seeing the. We're actually seeing the 50th anniversary of the movie Jaws. It's coming
Nice.
out,
Oh,
and
You almost gone?
Hell yeah, dude.
Don's gonna try to make it out, but it's obviously I don't even have to remind you guys like Nikki, Jade. I know of
yeah.
course the waters of Australia are notorious for sharks, especially gray whites, and so it's kind of a funny coincidence that I'm going to be seeing it tomorrow night in the theater.
Bro, Jaws was
I
like
want to
my
watch it.
favorite movie growing up, man. Like, I
You
have
wanna watch
all
it?
four. Wait, hold on. Give me a sec.
I want to watch
We
it
get something.
hanging out in like a lake on a floaty
Don't they do that up
big
there
Yeah.
ass
somewhere?
screen. Because I'm that
Well, and
You're
it
person.
makes
talking Jaden's language.
well, and believe it or not, like even though it was an American film, they did shoot like actual shark footage off the coast of Australia
Believe
for
it.
like some of the
Yeah.
realistic shark
Yeah.
scenes.
Australia.
Yeah. That was
Look at that,
done.
man. What's
Nice.
up?
Oh, that way. Hang on, I'm gonna spotlight that. I got it. Oh, that is really cool. You got them all.
All of them.
That's amazing.
Got them all.
Wonderful.
They're having a special screening of it, and I thought
This is the
immediately because, like I
this is
said,
the
they actually.
30th anniversary DVD.
Oh my god!
30th
Well, it won't be long
anniversary.
before they probably have a 50th anniversary DVD.
Dude, I got this 20 years ago when I was a kid, when
Oh
this
my
first came out.
God.
So
you weren't
like,
even born.
it's got over 2.5 hours of special features, and you bet your ass I've
Wow.
watched them. So like,
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah,
like
I've always been a
straight
big
up,
fan
man.
of that movie, and like I said, it's amazing too that they even extended it to, like I said, even to Australia, like with the footage, because like those realistic shark scenes that they show,
Mm.
like because like that was during the shark cage moment, and I heard that when they shot those scenes, it wasn't with the actual actors in the cage. They had somebody else in the cage,
Mm.
and they also had the idea of shooting it from afar, but making sure that they were close enough to the gray white sharks because they wanted to give the impression that the sharks were like huge, like larger than life, like much
Yeah.
bigger than the average gray
Yeah.
white. And
Yeah.
even back in the 70s, that was quite a smart move that they made,
Mhm.
using real footage at various times throughout the film.
So that's how you make it seem bigger. Okay.
God damn it, Chris.
I told you I'm being Tom tonight.
Oh,
I can tell you are.
Dude, like
oh,
straight up, I'm like such a massive horror movie fan. Like, I'm a classic horror movie fan. The Conjuring. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not interested in that shit. I like you probably would have seen the posters up there before, but like the Bride of Frankenstein and the Creature of the Black
Yeah.
Lagoon, like that's my type of shit. So like the
Yeah.
Jaws anniversary is something I'm really, really just happy about because I grew up watching that. It was like my favorite movie. And then as a kid, I used to live next to the beach, so I used to go out swimming for sharks, like literally when I was a kid. And my mum would be so concerned because as soon as I got out there, my mum didn't know how to swim properly. So I'd be like, "Fucking, where are you, man? Let's go." Man. And yeah, man, my mum always still tells people like, "Oh, Jaden used to go searching for sharks when he was a kid because he's like fucking insane." So, but yeah, dude, that's all. So I hope you have a good time, Nick. I really do. It'll
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
yeah.
What I always do all the time whenever I go to the theater is I always take a screenshot of the opening. Not a video, obviously, because I mean over here it's
Yeah.
illegal to do that.
Yeah.
But I take a screenshot of it
Yeah.
just so that everyone can get an idea of what it's like to see Jaws on the big screen.
Yeah.
That's gonna be quite. I mean, believe it or not, I've actually seen Jaws in the theater previously, but because this is an anniversary special, and also due to the fact that my friends haven't seen it in the theater,
Yeah.
that's going to be quite an experience for them more than it is for me because
Mm.
it was just this, the picture, the sound quality, it's all been restored. And I just love how they are able to restore it, almost like it was brand new.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you guys just real quick from experience, that famous scene, like where the character Quinn, he talks about Indianapolis sinking, that occurred during World War II.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the audience, like when we were watching that particular scene, because when he's telling that story, like before they were joking around, you heard people like laughing in the theater, obviously, because at first it was kind of funny, because they were acting drunk and whatnot. But after he started telling the story about the Indianapolis, the theater, it just became dead silent. You could hear a pin drop in that theater, and it was like, I'll never. it was unlike any experience I've had in a theater before, and it's very rare that you get that kind of reaction like that, where it's like
Yeah.
you can clearly tell everyone in the audience was like, "Okay, no more jokes now." This is because what he's telling is a true event of what really happened
Yeah.
during World War II.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. No,
So incredible acting in that movie as well. It's not just the scenes where the sharks, it's just the whole movie in general. Like it really goes into what I love most about it is it talks about like the corporate greed about like, oh, this is the biggest holiday ever. We're not going to stop people from coming here. And, the
yeah.
fight between it's just, it has so much in terms of storytelling. It's not just a shark movie. It's everything. And like
Yeah.
storytelling these days just doesn't have that anymore. Where they try and
No,
showcase as many different things within one movie as possible. Instead, now it's just focused on like the whole. Movies these days suck, in my
yep,
personal opinion.
I agree. I mean, there's been a few good ones, but not very many of them. But yes, I agree.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
There is actually, I will tell
Mm-hmm.
you guys this too, is Jaws, believe it or not, even though it was based on a novel, it does, in addition to the Indianapolis, there is some truth behind it because over 100 years ago, almost 110 years ago now, back in 1916, there were like 3 or 4 shark attacks that occurred like in one day on the Jersey Shore. It became known as the Jersey Shore Shark Attacks in 1916.
Yeah.
And I think there might have been a film. I know there's been a documentary that kind of recreates that entire event. And if you watch it's called Blood in the Water. It came out originally back in 2009. It's a 2-part series. And
Yeah, I've seen it.
if you watch it, you'll actually see quite a similarity between the movie Jaws and this. So when you really think about it, Jaws is essentially the 1916 Jersey Shore shark attacks. The only difference is at that time, obviously, it was set in the modern era in the 70s instead of the 1910s. But even then, the Jersey Shore shark attacks are even briefly mentioned during one of the arguments with the two guys and the mayor. So it's even referenced briefly. So there is some truth behind Jaws, believe it or not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And to make matters worse, unlike Jaws, all these attacks that occurred were actually closer to lakes, not actually in oceans, which we now know obviously that was the bull shark that attacked them, not the great white. But back in 1916, they actually believed that most other sharks were harmless. The only shark they said they thought was the man-eater was undoubtedly the great white. So they always pointed it to it. It wasn't until much later they realized that the bull shark can thrive in both salt and fresh water, which they say that's probably the most dangerous species of shark, maybe even more dangerous than the great white is, because it can go anywhere, literally.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Were they baby sharks?
Oh, no, they were. No, there's. In fact, if you go online and look on Wikipedia, there is a newspaper article that was taken, and they took an actual photo of what looked like a great white originally.
Oh,
It was like a
sorry.
sus.
I just realized Jaws, the 50th anniversary movie, is actually showing at a cinema near me today.
Oh,
So
there you guys go.
I'm gonna be calling my partner right now after we get off this, and I'll be like, "Hey,
Let's
you
go
want
to
to
the
go on a
movies.
date? Yeah, let's go to the movies."
Yeah, we'll wrap it up soon.
Next show, you and I can talk about the experience then.
Yeah, it'd be so cool. It's so cool. I have
Yeah,
to
we'll
get
wrap
these
it up
tickets
soon.
now though. So I might look.
All right.
Please forgive me. I might have to head off.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up.
But
All right, guys.
I really appreciate you inviting me on and seeing you guys. It's been a pleasure. I
Yeah,
love you all.
Wonderful, man.
yeah, it's great
Love
to
you
see
too.
you again, Jade.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up because a lot of us has to go to sleep.
Yeah,
And
it's
yeah,
late, and it's been a
their
long
day.
day for me today.
Yes.
But again, it was great seeing
Yes.
everybody.
So,
Jaden, it was great. We'll talk.
It was great to be on
definitely.
again.
Absolutely.
Always
have a
fun.
great day, guys, and catch you later and see you around. Peace.
See
See you guys.
Will do.
Here, hold on one second here. You guys know this always takes a few a minute or